Here we are, another Extra Bases. We are back after a week off. I was away, and Jeremy was playing. He was playing in Orlando, the site of the winter meetings, which, based on some of the pictures I saw, Jeremy, it looked like you were in South Dakota.
I was freezing out there. Um,
Okay, let's carry on. The big
yeah,
news tonight. No, you were there for your New Balance Future Stars Series International
J-
Combine?
yeah, it was a World Combine. It was Mexico
World
and
Combine. I'm sorry,
yeah,
not international. World
that's
Combine.
okay. I mean, it's international at the same time. We call it the World Combine because there wasn't any domestic players in it, and it's designed to be non-US, right? So, and I guess this case is non-draft eligible. You've
Hmm.
got Dominican, Bahamas, Mexico, Colombia. I think Aruba was there. So it was it was a good mix. There's some players that'll be at our next one too that are like Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico and US, but they couldn't be part of that because they're all draft. They
Yeah,
all count as draft.
yeah. But
It
these
was a
are
lot of
kids.
fun.
These are kids that will be commanding some serious signing bonuses, I imagine, at some point.
Well, some of them did right away, and there's already been some that turned the corner immediately, like on the field. We had to take a couple guys off. It was really
Oh,
cool to see.
really?
Yeah, the international market is different because you can commit
Sure.
them on the spot. You don't have to wait for a draft or any of that stuff. So
I
the
guess I
scouts are there.
wasn't. I guess I wasn't totally in tune with the age group. So these are already kids that are eligible already.
Some of them, some are even still, the way that works is that if a player has, let's say, enough interest, like a college commitment would be here, sometimes they will go ahead and have a verbal understanding. We are kept completely out of that. I don't know nothing to do with it, but verbal understanding, and that happens and they get off the field. And so this case, kids I'm referring to, were eligible to sign in the next couple of weeks. And so it was like, okay, I got something I think is going to happen. Let me pull back and we'll go from there. But that's continued to trickle down. Um, and we're seeing players commit routinely.
And on this Tuesday night, December the 16th, Bob Nightingale posting this, Jeremy. The Arizona Diamondbacks have become a surprise entrant in the Alex Bregman sweepstakes and are, quote, kicking the tires on the possibility the D backs would certainly have the financial flexibility if they move Marte and could move Lawler to second base. I thought, well, makes sense. I mean, Alex Bregman lives in Arizona, right?
I mean, does he?
Uh, yeah,
Okay. So, I mean, he's a New Mexico kid, and I
yeah.
always thought he was in Houston. If he's in Arizona, good for him. It would make
According to
sense.
Cameron Cox, our friend over at in Phoenix, lives in Scottsdale. I thought he was living in Scottsdale now.
It makes sense, except for the fact that the Astros, who's the original team, and the Red Sox both train in Florida. Neither one, I don't see where the home time's coming into play there, right? Unless his fan, I don't get, anyway, not my business. Point is, if he's actually doing that, then that would make sense. The Diamondbacks, year in and year out, you don't know where they're going to stand. They surprise you sometimes, and they compete and they go all in sometimes. And the organization with Mike Hazen and Ami Al-Sadier and Mike Rickard and Mark Snip and the brain trust that's over there. Think I might know those guys a little bit. Anyway, the brain trust that's over there is in a pretty good spot. So I can see that. I can see them making a push. Those guys aren't over there to lose. And that division, they got to get better, man. Everybody's got to get better in that division because you've got like the Dodgers and then not the Dodgers right now. So they got to get better.
Is it possible that this is merely being floated by Boris's people to get things moving a little bit?
It's possible, except for the fact that they did sign Merrill Kelly and bring him back. And I know we talked about him a couple weeks ago, where he would fit. It looks as if they're positioned to be better with guys coming back. Corbin Carroll, as an example, they're not in a bad spot overall from the big league club, and the system's gotten better year in and year out as far as going to get help. So, yeah, is it one that he wins you a championship? No, there's too much firepower ahead of that. But you have to be competitive in that division, at least be able to play for one. Um, because again, right now it's the Dodgers and not, and so you're gonna have to spend some money. The Dodgers have given people an avenue that's allowable by the CBA with their deferred money, something I'm surprised all 30 teams don't do. Is to put deferred money and spread it out so you get more room and get better players in there. Um, but yeah, I think it's real, whether it's likely or not. Him living there, I think, helps quite a bit. I think that helps, but I don't know that it's a slam dunk. I think Alex goes um, where the highest bidder is, personally. That's what
Yeah,
I think.
and that's certainly his right.
Yeah.
And because we have wrapped up the winter meetings, let's now listen to Joe Espada, what he had to say at the winter meetings in Orlando. You were not in attendance, correct? You were busy doing your thing. Is that
Well,
correct?
well, well, to be clear, I was in Orlando.
Yeah, I know that, but you weren't in the room. Or how much time did you spend at the winter meetings, the actual meetings when you were in Orlando?
Well, I think the better question is how much time did I try to spend at the
Ah,
meetings and get over there? And that answer would be about the same as the time I actually spent there. So I was busy. I had other stuff to do. I tried to get over there. Stuff ran all day. I don't know. What else you want me to say? Sorry, I missed
no,
it.
no, that's fine.
I'm playing. I'm playing. Let's go.
That's fine.
Come on,
All
let's
right,
move
let's now
on.
listen to Joe Espada. This video is courtesy of MLB and MLB Network. So let's listen in. Jeremy, hop in whenever you feel like it. This is conversations with Carlos Correa.
Yeah, so we've met a few times during the off season. We've had lunch a few times, and we've talked about not only the team and spring training, but obviously our families and just making sure that we all kind of are on the same page, empowering our players to have a kind of a say in spring training, mostly, and in the direction that we're going to go. But he's very involved and my plans for the season, and just want to include him in our conversation the same way I include the rest of our players.
That's a non-answer.
Yeah.
We're doing this again. Hold on. So let me see. He's asked a question, and then we're deciding once again consciously not to answer the question. That's like saying, "Hey, have you talked to Jason Bristol this
Yeah.
offseason?" Yeah, I talked to Jason. We talked about the show, what we may or may not discuss. Both had some input in it. Made sure our families were good. Enjoyed. Wish each other happy Thanksgiving, and looking forward to spring training.
Playoff.
Stop it.
Yeah. All right.
You
Let's see what this next question's about.
you know what? The rest of our players.
What?
What kind of role do you anticipate Zach Cole having?
You know what? I feel comfortable giving not only Zach but some of our young players. We are going to give them a longer look in spring training. I think not only they showed that they can play at our level, but they did it in an environment where we were in the middle of a playoff hunt, and they were able to handle that very well. And performance was better than what we all expected. So I am really excited about what these players can do. And I am going to give those guys an opportunity to play a lot in spring training and give them an opportunity to make the club.
Can I sum that up real quick?
Yeah, sure.
He just said, "I don't know." That's it. That's all he said. He said, "I don't know." He said, I know these guys performed when I had them. I don't know what I'm getting year two. I don't know if it was luck. I've got no idea what I'm doing."
I think that's perfectly logical to say that.
Why not just say that?
Okay. Moving on.
I'm just saying, Joe. Just say it. I don't know.
Moving on.
You've been very forthright in your whole tenure that with young players like that, if you're going to carry them,
Give an opportunity to play,
you
yes.
want them to play every
Yep.
day.
Yep.
When you carry young players, they typically play every day.
There's like, if these young guys do pop in camp, that you want them to play every day.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. That's the player development side of me. That if I view these players as everyday players, and the only way you could become that everyday player is by getting everyday reps. So if we can do that, we'll do that. It's early in the off season where we're working through all these things, but I do envision some of these players to taking over some of those everyday roles in the near future. Yeah.
Ethan Katz, what they liked about Ethan Katz.
You know what? My conversation with Ethan.
For the one of the obviously a
Yeah,
staff, major league staff assistant pitching coach. I don't have
the guy from the White Sox.
yes, I don't. And
I'm gonna sum up what he said last time, Jason. He said, "We're in a transition year. I've got younger players. I have to figure out what they're going to be
whoa,
because
whoa, whoa, say that again.
we're in a transition year.
A
I've got younger.
transition year.
Yeah, they have to find a way to retool with the core they still have while they're young enough without going out and spending a bunch of money. That's what he's saying. And he's saying, I'm bringing in people to the player development. I'm bringing in players to give them a longer look. I'm going to try to get them win jobs. They performed and earned an opportunity for us to see what we got. I don't know what I have, but I've got to give these guys a chance to play because I'm not going out there and spending money.
How do you think Astros fans will handle a transition year? It means they can still compete, correct?
Depends how they handle the transition. I have it on good authority that one of the trades that Dana Brown was trying to make was Mitch Keller from the from the Pirates. Okay. That's a same type of building block where the Pirates know they can't afford him. Maybe the Astros can in a couple of years. They're bringing him in. But that fits with the Peñas and the guys that you have all around in that age bucket, right? Hunter Brown and some of the younger arms they've got there that they're working for.
Arrighetti.
So yeah, so it's a step back. It's a youth movement again that they're trying to go find guys to do it with. They have to develop guys at the big league level because the system is empty. Dana's already gone on record by saying, we may have traded for the major league roster. There's two guys in the city of Houston that've been saying for about 9 years that the Astros had nothing. So, the fact that they kept pulling guys out here and maximizing what they had is a credit. But, the farm system hasn't been able to be dealt from in quite some time. It just hasn't. So, that's not a surprise, but that's what Joe's saying. For those of you at home, he's saying we're not spending any money. And by the way, you heard that here first a couple weeks ago. We're not. I got younger guys who have earned the right for an opportunity. They're going to develop in the big leagues. Um, and I'm committed to the youth movement. That's what he's telling you, which means you can forget going to, if they can move Christian Walker, they're gonna. If they can move Paredes, they're probably gonna, because they're not going to eat that money and keep them on the roster. They're going to play guys around them and figure out where that fits.
You think they'll move Paredes?
I think they're going to move
After
somebody.
how much they wanted this guy. And granted, I don't know if the people who really, 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 really wanted him are still in the organization. But
Well,
by all accounts, it seems that he has been a target for some time before they were able to actually land him.
let's separate. Do I think it's the smart move to move him, or would I move him, or are they going to move him? Those are two separate questions, right? They may want to keep him, but if the movement goes a different direction, they get better players back or young players for him after what he did. And again, the much maligned Christian Walker, it's an upside down contract a little bit, not bad because he still hit 27 or 28, did what he was supposed to do. He's a good player. You start moving these guys out and getting a couple guys back, and all of a sudden you're adding, your years of control and you're adding your wealth of younger base. And then, yeah, so if you finish third in the division, Alvarez, he's never going to see the dirt again. You can write that down. Somebody else might have told you that first. And Pena is going to play shortstop, hit the top of the lineup, and Altuve is a Hall of Famer. So you've got some tools there to go ahead and continue to move forward. But it's a youth movement. It's unmistakably a youth movement here in Houston, and that's where they're going. With that in mind, guys with big money can get moved at any point in time. Okay, or guys with value. And while before we go back to Joe, you know. Jake Myers makes a lot of sense to move from a value standpoint right now while it's hot, but at the same time, what are you going to get back? You have to get something back that's going to help you. He's a middle diamond defender. It's at least a plus defender and a serviceable offensive guy, at least now. So I don't know what you get back. So those are decisions that they're trying to make.
And I think when you're saying youth movement, it's not particularly the traditional youth movement in terms of 20, 21, 22, 23. These are probably guys who have a couple of years, maybe experience already, 2 to 3. That depends, right? Depends.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, the Zach Cole one's an interesting one interesting one to bring up because he did perform.
Yeah.
He did do some things when he was in the big leagues.
But
Um,
what will he be over the course of 120, 130 games? We saw Cam Smith perform in stretches, but he wore down, obviously, and the league caught up to him.
Yeah, and Cam Smith's another one, from a standpoint of youth movement. He's a young kid. You start looking around, you can see how these guys are going to get younger pretty fast, right? With that in mind, that's good for the organization long term. It's just not good for right now.
All right, let's hear more from Joe Espada now talking about Ethan Katz.
And during the whole entire process, we're really good. I was very impressed from the very beginning. My conversations with other people around the industry say some really great things about him. So once we sat down and I went through the interview process, he caught my attention right away. His ability to connect with veteran pitchers, but also with young pitchers which we are having right now in our organization. I saw when he had that veteran core at the time, and then the White Sox transitioning to these young starters, and the job he did, something that caught my attention. That's something that we are doing now at the organization. So I spent some time asking him about those things, but he answered all the questions. There was some conviction behind these answers. Smart guy, and I think him and Josh will be a really good duo.
Will it be the same setup
Now, is it me?
Hold on.
Josh being in the dugout, or both of them?
Josh will be in the dugout.
Ethan will be in the bullpen. Josh will be in the dugout.
So there's that.
Okay, is it me or did he say transition and youth at the same time? Now, I was born at night, just not last night.
Yeah.
Okay. And so as they're talking about youth, Joe is out there looking like he's getting into his strength of managing, frankly. I mean, he looks much more comfortable with this group of guys instead of somebody, inheriting veteran winners that know how to play. He didn't manage the stars well, but this he might do okay. And so he's looking for that. But I could have sworn, and just so my
you want to replay it?
Well, yeah,
I can. You tell me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's probably a good idea.
Okay. Let me go back.
Yeah, let's do that. I want to be sure.
Which we are having right now. We sat down and I went through the interview process. He caught my attention right away. His ability to connect with veteran pitchers, but also with young pitchers which we are having right now in our organization. I saw when he had that veteran core at the time, and then the White Sox transitioning to these young starters, and the job he did, something that caught my attention. That's something that we are doing now at the organization. So I spent some time asking him about those things, but he answered all the questions. There was some conviction behind these answers. Smart guy, and I think him and Josh will be a really good duo.
Will it be the same setup with
All right, Jeremy, you were correct. You were correct.
That scoreboard's adding up, Jason. It's really starting to add up. Just saying.
All right,
Okay.
let's see what the next question is.
Did I really need to go to this press conference? No.
What?
Did I really need to go to this press conference? I could have given it. I didn't need to go. I could have given it.
You could have done your quarter. What is it? Quarter zip? Is that what they're calling those?
Yeah, quarter zip. They all wear the same.
Very much in. I wear them.
I'm gonna say this to the industry. Hey, pick a different style. Okay. I know I got my hoodie, and you guys, everybody's got it though. So one of you guys got to break the mold. When it was a few of you, it was cool, and then it was like half of you. It's like, all right, it's a trend. Somebody out there just break the mold. That's it. Okay.
All right. All right. Let's move on here.
Good.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about that trio.
So these are the
Victor
hitting
Rodriguez
coaches.
he'll lead the pack.
Victor Rodriguez.
He is the main hitting coach. Victor Rodriguez is someone who I've known for a very long time. The work he's done with veteran players and young players, both with the Guardians in San Diego, he's a winner. He's a proven winner. It's someone who I'm very excited to lead our hitting department. Anthony Iapozzi, I also know him for a long time, my years with the Miami Marlins, and I'm excited because he's a really good glue with Victor, and having Dan Hennigan as a hitting coordinator. He's going to be our hitting director.
Dan Hennigan
He's
is
one,
the
be
numbers
more
guy.
Focus on the game planning, the strategy. He's the biomechanic I like to call him. Like, he really knows how that swing mechanics work. So having all those three guys working together is important. My job is to, when I sat with them, is this is how I want this department to be run. This is who I'm going to go to when I need X, and when I need this, this is who I'm going to go to. So I've been spending some time with him the last couple of weeks, making sure that the specific things that I want done in that area, they get done.
How vital is healthy Alvarez to your team next year? He swung the bat so
All right, here's Yordan Alvarez. Vital.
It seemed like he was carrying you at some point.
Yeah.
Getting that for a full season, what would be the
Full
yeah,
season.
and I think that that's going to be one of our goals this season. How we keep Yordan Alvarez healthy.
I know one way you can keep him healthy, but
Yeah, you
but
keep
move on.
Yordan
Obviously-
Alvarez healthy by not hitting him second and getting him off the dirt, okay, and the grass. He doesn't know what defense means. He just goes ahead and hits, and he hits third or fourth in the lineup, and you keep him healthy. You guys been running this man on the ground for a couple of years now. Knock it off. That's how. It's free advice. It's free advice, Joe. Go ahead.
The DH it's something that I'm going to focus and really try to get him to spend most of his season there.
And
We
most of
do
the season at
have,
DH.
Some depth in our organization.
Hold on.
In our
Doesn't this guy
team.
write the
We can move
lineup
some
card?
guys around, but
I think so. Why?
Hold on. So Dana Brown is the general manager, right?
Yeah, last time I checked.
That's still correct. And there's an analytics department that has input, right? In theory.
I believe so.
And there's not one, not two, but three hitting names he just gave us as far as their hitting department, right?
Mhm.
And this man writes out the lineup card.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly are you trying to convince this guy of? How to stay healthy? You put him in the DH spot, you hit him third or fourth, and you say, stop talking about anything else. This is all you do.
Seems
Okay,
pretty
give him
simple to me.
I don't get it. We're gonna have a collaborative conversation. Man, you get hurt when you start running faster than 6 miles an hour. Like we're not doing that. You're gonna hit them far and trot into conversation. Go ahead.
All righty. These are fun, aren't they? Watching?
one of our goals this season. How we keep Yordan Alvarez.
Driving me to drink,
healthy.
Jason.
Uh-oh.
Obviously, the DH it's something that I'm going to focus and really try to get him to spend most of his season there. We do have some depth in our organization, in our team. We can move some guys around, but keeping Yordan healthy, I think DHing will be a good spot for him. Obviously, he can also play some left, but keeping Yordan in our lineup for a long number of games is crucial to our lineup.
Like you said, if your intention to keep Yordan at DH primarily, what does that mean for left field?
What does that mean for left field?
Get into that, he played so
I mean, somebody who can actually play it's going to do it.
left field, and how do you become
We'll see. Let's see.
We're having those conversations right now.
What are you
Because
talking
I think
about?
Altuve-
There's nothing to talk about.
Altuve.
Once again, there's nothing to talk about at all. Find somebody else who can play the position rather than stand out there on the grass between the bats. I don't get it. There are certain guys in the game who are just meant to play certain places, and you can't just go ahead and interchange and put guys out there. Altuve should play second base or DH and rest. He's at that point in his time where he should do it. Okay, and Yordan Alvarez, I'll say it again for like the 6th year in a row, should never, ever, ever play defense. I don't care what he wants. I don't care what he thinks. I don't care if he's happy. I don't care if he likes green eggs and ham. What I care about is that he hits third or fourth in the lineup and he swings the bat 162 days a year, if at all possible. If anybody else has a better solution based on track record, with, by the way, the only ones that didn't seem to know that he couldn't play defense and stay healthy were the Houston Astros, because everybody else had that figured out. And I do mean everybody. Jeff Bagwell, great hitter, good player, great baseball guy. Why is Yordan Alvarez playing left field? That was your idea. Okay? He should
Was
not.
it?
Yeah, he was the one that said, Yordan loves playing left field. We're going to run him out there 3 or 4 days a week. That's a clip from a few years ago. Now,
I don't remember
strangely, Jeff Bagwell is quiet right now. I don't hear a whole lot of Jeff Bagwell. And I'm not saying he has nothing to contribute. You guys got a wealth of knowledge. But we don't start putting players out there where they can't stay healthy because we want them to. Some guys just don't understand or need to know what the grass looks like. They show up 4 times a game, maybe 5 if you're doing it right, and they exit the playing field.
Yeah. Now
That's
they
it.
can be on the grass during pregame warmups.
Maybe. You got David Ortiz and Edgar Martinez. Is anybody
Well,
complaining about the production they put out there?
they ran sprints and they jogged and stretched in the pregame on the grass.
On the outfield grass, right?
Any grass?
Any grass. Okay. As
Outfield
long as
grass.
as long as it's not when action is happening.
Yes.
Okay. You
Between the
just
first
don't do it.
pitch and the last pitch.
The only club in the league, that had no clue that was going to happen with Yordan Alvarez is the one he played for. Make that one make sense.
All right,
Everybody else knew it.
we're almost running out of time here. So
I'm sorry. This fires me up. This guy is one of the. All right, go ahead.
We're working towards that. But health for me is my main focus. I think we're going to go into spring training. You guys will see a different setup, and we're going to do some things differently.
let me go back here.
So right now, if you ask me specific or how our opening day lineup will look like, I can't tell you that. But we're working towards that. But health for me is my main focus. I think we're going to go into spring training. You guys will see a different setup, and we're going to do some things differently where we keep
I'll have to
our
mark
guys
that down. Different setup. What the setup will be.
Okay.
more efficient process. Try to be more specific. Get there, get your work in, and trying to get them off their feet so they
All right. So come in, do your work, go home.
can rest and
No.
recover.
No.
Because health is going to be my main focus once
Pause.
we get down to West Palm.
Pause.
Okay.
These kids don't know how to play. The veterans I got are old and need to go ahead and stay on the field, and so I can't wear them out. I need to make sure that we're structured what they're doing with their bodies, and Altuve and Alvarez, because they're essential to our success if we're going to have any. They're going to be very limited in what their defensive work looks like, and I've got a bunch of young guys I got to figure out. So rather than just let these guys show up and do what they want, we're actually going to develop and pay attention. Okay? Once again, these press conferences, this is why I don't go in the clubhouse. This is some of the most obvious stuff that you could say, hey, Joe, you don't know what your lineup looks like, but you're working towards it. Thanks for that revelation, buddy. Okay.
Well, he's asked the questions, Jeremy. I mean,
Yeah, but the questions for me, we can't get away from people that ask questions. Like they're going to ask their own questions. But if the answer that for me is a little more like, I got a bunch of young kids. I got no idea. I'm not going to know till April 2nd. I got no idea. So asking me now means we have 3 more months to figure this thing out. That's what I'm saying, right? And I'm going to be as direct as I can to set expectations. I'm not going to talk around stuff I'm saying the answers anyway. I'm just using watchwords that I'm giving you ahead of time. Transition, younger players, don't know what we got. Alvarez going to stay. And so for me, like when I hear that, I understand that the questions he's being asked, but I told you, no disrespect to any of the media members because I've gotten to know him a little bit and I like them. But a year ago, I sat in that room and listened to him talk about Alex Bregman 17 times in a row before I say, hey, Dana, I got it. You don't know what's going to happen with Bregman. And I asked him a question about pitching, and he looked at me and smiled and answered a different question. Okay. For all the people in Houston, they're going younger. They're going to transition. They're going to be competitive. They like what they got. They don't know how they're going to look or who's going to play where. The guys you've seen before are transitioning out. It's that time. The system is empty, as we told you, and they've got some tread on the tires now. So they're going to have to figure this out as they reboot. And thankfully, it's not a 5-year reboot. It might be a 2, which is exactly where they should be. Okay. That the rest of the press conference, I don't have to hear it. That's what he's going to say.
good, because we don't have time to play it.
Great. Just thank you. Thanks,
All right,
Joe.
everybody. All right. Next week, yes,
Yeah.
may have to do it from another place because I won't be in, but we can do it, right? We have the technology. We've done it before. Actually, some of our highest numbers were the ones talking about the Toronto Blue Jays during the World Series.
The American League champion, Toronto Blue Jays.
Anyways, that video again, courtesy of Major League Baseball Network.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be too. I'll say this as a disclaimer. Not trying to be too hard on it, but for me,
My guess is you'd have the same reaction to a lot of these, no matter which team was at the podium.
yeah. So it's to me, it is very clear. everybody, if you say that we're going to focus on keeping him healthy, and you're the only team in baseball that somehow couldn't figure out he shouldn't play left field. Like, don't admit that. Don't admit that. Just say we were trying to find out, maybe get some more value for the guy. It didn't work out. We're
Now they
working
have enough ammunition, if you will, to be like, listen, we know you like being out there, and I think the numbers still show that he's more productive when he's in the field as a hitter. But listen, it ain't working, man. It ain't gonna work anymore.
How can you be more productive if you ain't in the lineup?
Well,
If
that's
you're getting hurt.
yeah. What production versus nowhere in the lineup?
Yeah, just not. I'm with you. I understand your point. I think that's a good point. The answer to Yordan Alvarez and any player is, hey, you got a long-term contract, and I write the check. You're going to play in the position that's best for your health and for the ball club. And if you have a problem, have your agent call me.
All right.
That's it.
And that's it for this edition of Extra Bases with Bristol and Booth. Jeremy, thank you so much for everything. For everything.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, everybody. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, whatever else in the comments below on YouTube. Let us know what you think or what you're reading from what Joe Espada was saying, and we'll get to those comments at some point in the next few weeks.
Did we get any last time?
Maybe. I haven't checked.
All right, we'll do it. White hands. We'll count them all.
Yeah,
Never do a
we're
Q&A.
running down. We're running out of time. All right,
Look,
everybody. Till next. What?
I don't like it when people do stupid baseball stuff. That's bad.
Yeah.
That just annoys me. I'm sorry. And it's
Smart
for me-
baseball, good. Stupid baseball, bad. We
Okay.
gotta go. We gotta go.
Oh, fine.
All right, everybody. Till next time.